this. Let's do this. Good morning, and welcome to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold.
Oh, hell yes.
This is the show where we talk about everything.
What the hell?
Well, almost. From today's news, culture, entertainment, real life, real people, and the stories everybody's talking about. And no, we don't do it in some tiny glass bubble. We do it the only way we know how. Real and completely unleashed.
Fire the hole, fire the hole, fire the hole.
So lean in and let's go right now.
Give me a hell yeah.
Well, among Democrats, here's how they view socialism versus capitalism. 56% of them say they have a positive view of socialism. Only 32% of them say they have a positive view of capitalism. And of those Democrats, 62% say they'd vote for a democratic socialist. This is the problem in the party right now, Eric. And I continue to look at our educational system and the failures there in terms of kind of talking about socialism, teaching our children true history instead of revisionist history, and quite frankly, indoctrinating them into thinking that these ideas somehow are successful when we know that they ruin societies and they completely destroy countries. What do you think of those results? Is that surprising to you?
That is completely insane to me right now. It is Friday, August 21st. You've tuned into the Unleashed, Uninhibited, Unapologetic, Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. We are broadcasting live, syndicated on the radio at 104.3 FM, on all the radio apps, and of course, locally 104, and that's Hines, Rankin, Madison County, Mississippi. This show also goes to podcast right after the broadcast on all your favorite podcast platforms or DarylArnold.us, DARRELL. And then you can choose your platform. We're on iHeartRadio as well. And you also can go ahead and watch this on YouTube. It's live now on YouTube, or you can watch it later. And of course, we're live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. Thank you. It is Friday morning, y'all. It's the Friday edition. What does that mean? Freedom Friday, every Friday, y'all. Wear the colors. So we understand that every day we have freedom here in the United States of America. It is being tested every single day, but we have it. But on Friday, we choose to wear it proud. Freedom Friday, every Friday. Tomorrow's my birthday, y'all. August 21 is today. It is a Leo thing. Until you get done with my birthday, it turns into a Virgo thing. If you believe in that, well, if you believe in all that. So anyway, we talk about everything on this show, almost. Want to thank all our sponsors and definitely all the listeners and the people that get involved in the chats, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Restream, etc. And it's going to be one of those days, y'all. We're going to lay back. We're going to have fun, but we're going to talk about a lot of important things. But we're also going to talk about what in the hell is going on with like 6 weeks of heat. It has been insane, and it doesn't look like it's going to let up in Mississippi. Just hot, hot, hot. Kiss wrote a song about it. Hotter than hell. It is so freaking hot. And as you heard when we opened up the show, whatever it is, 56, 59% of Democrats agree with socialism. That's, it makes me angry, but it's really insane if you think about it. If you really think about even a year ago, or especially 4 or 5 years ago, that we would be talking about socialism and communism like we always talked about Russia, Cuba, etc. If you thought we would be talking about that in Mississippi or the United States of America, I don't think that I would have guessed. A lot of that is the failed education system. That's the truth. Young people have been systematically programmed to actually hate their own country. And I don't mean that about every school or every teacher, but this is a general, widespread situation that's been going on now for the last 20 years. For the last 20 years. You know, I see a message right here supporting the Democrats, even back in Obama days, was one of the biggest regrets in my life. Yeah, I didn't, but I do understand, and I knew a lot of people that trusted the silver tongue devil, also known as the California cocaine surfer, Barack Hussein Obama. Old Barry. A lot of people trusted him. He was a great speaker. He was all about change, but sometimes change is not good. Sometimes change is really embedding himself into this country in a non-Christian way, in my opinion, and literally saying things like that. America is no longer a Christian country. Who said that? Barack Hussein Barry Obama, whatever your freaking name is. Okay, that's who said that. Not me. We didn't just make that up. There's massive millions of clips, audio and video of him saying that. It's crazy. Modern progress, like the Progressive Party. Well, that's what they used to call them. Now they're basically the Socialist Party. The Progressive Party is absolutely neo-Marxism. That's what it is, y'all. And it's neo-Marxism in drag. Dressed up. Neo-Marxism in drag, all dressed up. They lost the economic war. So they turned to culture. That's what they did, y'all. That's what they did. Revolution 1.0 sees the means of production. Sees the means of production. Revolution 2.0 sees the means of perception. Right. This is true, you guys. This is what we're living in, modern leftist progressives that are dressed up in drag. Neo-Marxist, by the way. That's what happened. That's what happened to us right here in the United States of America.
Ideology always sounds noble. Compassion, justice, equality, and progress. But progress towards what? That's the question nobody ever seems to ask. To understand modern leftism, especially in its woke form, we need to go back nearly 200 years. Ideas evolve much like viruses. As society builds immunity to one bad idea, academics, the gain-of-function scientists of ideology, tinker with it until it mutates into something more contagious, more destructive, and harder to detect. It started with Hegel, who proposed the dialectic, a process where two opposing ideas, thesis and antithesis, collide to form a new idea, synthesis. This became the engine of supposed progress. Marx took that framework and applied it to economics, dialectical materialism. In his view, society was a class struggle between haves and have-nots. He believed revolution was inevitable. Workers would rise up, destroy capitalism, and create a communist utopia. To the left, progress means the oppressed overthrowing the oppressors. But Marx's vision flopped. So Vladimir Lenin, the founder of the Soviet Union, retooled it. He argued the have-nots weren't going to rise up on their own. They needed to be led by elites who could radicalize them. Then came the idea of perpetual revolution. Once one oppressor is toppled, the new ruling class becomes the next enemy. It never ends, and that's the point. When this too failed in the West, the Frankfurt School revamped Marxism yet again. They noticed that capitalism's material success inoculated workers against revolution, so they turned their sights on culture, education, media, churches, the arts. They called it the long march through the institutions. If they couldn't radicalize people economically, they'd do it socially and spiritually, slowly, generationally. Then came the postmodernists, who declared that power doesn't just exist between rich and poor, it exists everywhere. Between man and woman, white and black, straight and gay, fit and fat, colonizer and colonized.
That's where it came from. Look, you may not believe me. Who's that old dude? Who's that old guy, Daryl, on Facebook or on whatever platform you're on, talking about all this? Well, let me just say this. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen, and this is happening right now. Right here. Right here. Not only in Mississippi, but every state. Don't think for a minute that this wasn't part of the plan, ladies and gents, because of course it was. They've been working so hard for year after year after year, to make this happen. And guess what? The time's now. The time's here. Don't fall for that crap. Do not fall into the trap. Nothing in this world is freaking free. I promise you. Nothing in this world is free. All the lies they tell you, and believe me, they do. They definitely tell you lies. Lies after lies after lies. That's what they do. Okay? It's exactly what they do. So don't fall for it. Do not fall for the lies that they tell you. Because believe me, they can come up with more lies than you ever thought they could come up with in your entire life. And they're cool with that. They're cool with that to get their agenda through. That's all they care about. All right, enough of that nonsense. It is Friday, August 21. My name is Daryl Arnold. Don't fall for the lies. It is Friday, August 21, and the year is 2026, ladies and gentlemen. So I got a couple of kids with birthdays this week too, like yesterday or so, and then my daughter's birthday is tomorrow, the same day as my birthday. We share that. Happy birthday to the kiddos. They know where they are and who they are. Not going to call them out on here because there's some sickos online that send me message after message that you would not really freaking believe. It's really sad. Okay. It's really sad. The things that these people say. Hiding behind the camera. But, you got to take a lot of this serious. You have to take a whole lot of it serious. It is Melanie Dedman's birthday. Happy birthday, Mel. She's going to be celebrating tonight, of course. We will all be out there for the Dirt Deacons at Cameron's Garage. But wait, there's more. Bubba Wingfield will be in the tavern tonight with the weekend specials. Check out Cypress Point MS on Facebook they got some fantastic specials for the weekend in the tavern, steakhouse, etc. And then, of course, the Dirt Deacons return to Cameron's Garage tonight, Friday, August 21st. Be there or be square. I'll be there too. It's the warm-up party. It's Mel's birthday. Come out, shout out, hang out. And then, of course, tomorrow night, August 22nd, is my big birthday party. You're all personally invited. I said personally invited. And music from Thomas Kane. If you have not checked out the band Thomas Kane, do yourself a favor. They're bringing in the big tour bus this weekend. Tomorrow, Saturday, August 22nd. Doesn't happen a lot, but my birthday fell on a Saturday this year. And I'm going to be old this weekend. So come be old or young with me. Come be old or young with me. It doesn't matter. So another big weekend tomorrow night at the tavern. Also, Shane Weems. That is the vocalist for the Conway Twitty tribute band, Slow Hand. Amazing. Will be in the tavern tomorrow night, August 22. Tomorrow night, August 22. Be there or be square. Be there or be square. Don't you just love it when these freaking ridiculous reporters, these far left CNN fake news, ABC fake news, all the rest of them, they just try and try and try for a gotcha moment with Trump. It just never works. It just never works. Excuse me, shut your mouth. Yeah. I do wonder, I know they're the Poly market and the Kalshi and all the betting markets are betting on who's going to be Trump's new press secretary. A lot of people are betting on Scott Jennings over at CNN. I love Scott Jennings, though. I really do. I do like him. And old Chuck Schumer, and I do mean old, is fighting for his political life over there on the left because he's remarkably unpopular with his own party. He's remarkably ineffective, and almost no one is endorsing him anymore. Now that the DSA socialists are rising inside their own party, they don't even want him as majority leader anymore. And his response to that, no, we're a big tent party. Yep, right. They're a big tent party, maybe. But nobody's studying his old ass anymore, Chuck. It's called term limits. We need them. Just like Mitch McConnell. Where is Mitch? Where is Mitch McConnell? Where is he? We need answers. We need answers today, not yesterday, not 4 weeks ago, but we need them now. Because that's how long it's been. Where is the dude? Is he alive? Well, they say he is. They say he is. And even if he is alive, what in the hell's going on?
Leader, except that he's remarkably unpopular and ineffective. Almost everybody he endorsed loses. Angie Nixon was not his choice. Abdul El Sayed was not his choice. But he wants to make it a big tent party. Hey, it's all right. It's okay. You disagree with me. You want to blow up the party. As long as you will caucus with us, you'll be one of us.
He declared that Democrats are now on this path to victory to retake the U.S. Senate majority. He was speaking in New York City. Here's a little bit of that.
I wonder, what your take is. You have a sort of surprising upset in Florida, right, with the candidate who certainly more to the left of, the candidate backed by, folks like you. What do you make of this rise of the DSA and what that could mean for the Senate?
Well, we're a big tent party. And, not everyone has the same exact view on every single issue. But if you look at the overall issues, the costs that people pay, the chaos in the Trump administration, you see it daily, and the corruption. And the corruption
Yeah, so Schumer's
The
fighting for his
corruption.
political survival.
That's laughable. You are the corruption, Schumer. You and the rest of the ones that started all this progressive crap. You and Pelosi and all the rest of them, even though y'all are mild compared to this new DSA movement. Don't talk about corruption, brother. Don't do it at all. Don't do it at all. It's not even worth opening your mouth. Here's another disturbing thing, entertainment related, music related, since I've spent my whole life basically inside the music business, one way or the other. The 2026 MTV, even if you didn't know, but MTV is still around. I wasn't sure about that, but it is. But the VMAs, they've been around forever. The Video Music Awards, which they still do every year. They do not, they have ripped apart and taken out. This is ridiculous. I guess nobody watches, so it doesn't matter. But the VMAs don't even have a rock category award anymore in 2026. First year ever. The list of awards and nominees for the 2026 MTV Video Music Awards has been revealed. And it what appears to be a big change. There's no longer a category of rock music. Alternative music, though, however, remains. But even those nominees are rather distant, very distant from anything to do with rock, loud, or associated with rock. Wow. It is just so crazy. And all of these organizations have reached out to MTV's parent company, Paramount, and asking about the removal of the long-standing, and it is long-standing since the beginning, rock category. No explanation was provided. Yeah. The representation of rock began back in the 80s, you guys, way back. Just insane. So for 4 decades, let me get this straight, bands like that won the categories like Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Metallica, Pearl Jam, Linkin Park, no category for them anymore? Really? They have been removed in the category now. Some people like Geese, no idea. Olivia Rodrigo, no idea. 21 Pilots, I do know that band, and they're a good band, but they have nothing to do with rock. But this is where we are, you guys, in this country. I don't even know anybody really watches MTV, so I don't guess it matters that much. But the reason people don't watch MTV anymore is because they came in, corporate America, and took over MTV, took away actual music videos, and turned it into reality TV and ruined it. That's what. And they decide what's played. Payola, baby. And if it's not money, it's something else. But it always works exactly like that. It always works exactly like that, my friends. If you don't think it does, you're just living in a different reality of the way the country and the world works. My name is Daryl Arnold. We are Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Spread the word, share the feed, check out all the podcasts. Represent all of our sponsors here, which are amazing. And Let's do this all together, baby. We'll be right back. It is Unleashed.
If you or a loved one need reliable medical equipment, trust a name Mississippi has depended on for over 20 years. Mobility Medical, located right in Flowood, is your local family-owned source for mobility and home healthcare solutions. From power wheelchairs and scooters to lift chairs that help you relax in comfort, they've got everything you need to stay independent and live better every day. Need help at home? Mobility Medical offers hospital beds, tables, and essential supplies, and more. What sets them apart? It's their personalized service. Their experienced team works one-on-one with you to find the right equipment. Serving all of Mississippi and beyond with in-store support and delivery options available. Mobility Medical, helping you move better, live better, and stay independent. Visit them today in Flowood or call to learn more.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
Fire!
You are listening to WPBP 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl, Mississippi.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
All right, you guys, top of the hour, 7:02. That's Central Time. My name is Daryl Arnold, August 21, y'all. And it is the year 2026, 2026. We are Unleashed, unapologetic. And we are the Unleashed Media and Talk Show. Good morning. It is Friday. Get out of bed if you're not already up. Click it. It is Friday. Well, you're working for the weekend, and the weekend is loading now. And there is a lot going on this weekend. It is a lot going on this actual weekend. And you should be involved. Why and why not, right? And why not? You know, they're talking about this new treatment for cancer. I just can't get behind the breakthrough that could usher in a wave of cancer vaccines. And it's Moderna. I can't get past that name, Moderna. That Dr. Fauci had a lot to do with Moderna, and I can't get past it. I can't. Some of the other headlines, though: President Trump's pushing for a meeting with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un as talks for a, quote, nuclear deal with Iran stall. It's according to the Wall Street Journal this morning. And then they were talking about this personalized mRNA, quote, cancer vaccine has been delayed right now. So we'll see. Angus Cheyenne breaks down how it trains the immune system to hunt down cancer cells. Interesting. Really weird, though, right? A progressive House Democrat won the special election in California. Of course they did. That's exactly what happens in the state of California. Unbelievable. And Iran, according to Reuters, vows devastating response as the United States threatens to tough stand up and be tough, the toughest ever economic sanctions. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. And from all the information that the internet and Chat GPT and others, Grok, etc., the world's oldest living person today on Friday, August 21, is 117 years old. That's old, y'all. That is old. But hey, fantastic. Fantastic. Wow. Just crazy. But hey, you never know. You actually never know. In California, they want to be socialist. They want to be so bad. They want to be socialist so bad. Really, they want to be communists. Set to ban addictive social media features to protect teens. Now, I personally don't think this will work. Look, I don't want any teens addicted to anything that's going to make them do something insane or literally ruin their life. But I just don't think that it's going to work because I know we've all been teens before. We've all been kids before. You can tell people over and over and over about whatever it is, from a cigarette to cocaine to all in between, and they will find a way if they want to do it. They will. But I understand it's always good to try and make that harder and harder. Okay, I do. I really understand that. Who are the 25 dumb Americans if you had to write a list out? Now, I don't expect you to get that list back to me today, but we'll talk about it Monday. But who are the 25 dumb Americans making the rest of us look really bad? Let's write that list out. Let's send it over to Daryl Arnold on Facebook. That's Daryl Arnold MS. The 25 dumb Americans who are making us look really bad on this Friday, August 21. Let's do that. Let's figure that out. In your opinion, not in everybody's opinion, your own opinion. Your own opinion. Because I want to know what you think. I mean, I'll write my list out, but I want to see your list. I really do. Trump announces a deal this morning on his True Social and X account to lower ground beef prices for Americans, allowing 300,000 metric tons of product imported at 25% below the market price. Now, this is massive. You might not think anything about it, but this is massive. It just is. That deal was announced today, actually, really early, as Trump doesn't sleep much. He blamed Biden, but he's, it is Biden's fault, pretty much. Anyway, so to help American farmers, you should help American farmers, because I see people commenting, which he didn't say. Fake news is putting words in his mouth, or the lack of words, about, he's importing this, killing the farmers out. That's not the way the deal was done. Okay? They've already made the arrangements with the USA too, so shut your mouth. Seriously. Trump right now is delivering for the American families. You may not realize it because you don't keep up, but that's what it really is. That's what it really is. Unbelievable. But like, we've always said this since 2015 or 2016 that it wouldn't matter what Trump did, they still would hate him. Wouldn't matter. He could give everybody $1 million and they would say that's a lie or it's counterfeit. Just is the truth. And how is it though that Joe Biden brought in 87,000 IRS agents? Y'all remember that a few years back? Not one of those 87,000 IRS agents that, quote, Joe Biden brought in found any fraud or Somalia fraud at all, or even in Minnesota. Give me a break. Give me a break. Unreal. Unbelievable. Actually, unbelievable. Many modern narratives regarding the Islam and the Islamic conquest, quote, the Crusades, and the, quote, peaceful coexistence, they really completely ignore the actual primary historical sources. They tell you all this stuff, but they don't back it up with history. And, you have to back things up with history because historians know all this. The Crusades were reaction to Islamic violence. Follow me?
So you're saying that it's possible that the Crusades were a reaction to the Islamic Crusades?
Yes, it was it was a much needed, and as I told you, Bernard Lewis famously called it belated response to nonstop aggression from Muslims. And if you look again at the sources at what Pope Urban is the one who called for it, that's what he talks about. He says your brothers in the East are being butchered, the women are being raped, the men are being sodomized. It's really graphic. They used to, the Muslims and the Turks would enter churches and cut open, and pull the entrails and tie them to a pole and whip someone until he around it and he would die. Like, the most horrific thing you can imagine they were doing. That's what provoked the First Crusade. But see, again, it's presented in a vacuum intentionally. So you think, oh, look at these aggressor Europeans. Even the colonial era was seen as a response. Remember, we were talking about the Barbary pirates and Thomas Jefferson, they were enslaving American. They were, of course, enslaving Europeans even more because that.
Yeah, guys, ladies, gentlemen, make sure you check out history. Make sure you check out history. History has a lot to do with it, my friends. And I've gone over this a million times. I don't have anything against anybody, no matter what color you are, no matter where you're from. But I do understand that bad people with bad intentions who believe in crazy things that don't really go along with Christian values that the United States of America was founded on. And I get bombarded with people saying it wasn't founded on Christian values. That's your opinion, but I don't listen to you because it was founded that way. Thanks for the birthday wish from David Hall. Good morning. Thanks for listening also. Thanks for listening also. Appreciate it, David. Always very, very smart person that cares about this country. Patriot, David Hall. The Act Blue co-founder, and if you don't know what Act Blue is, of course, it's another blue progressive, probably headed towards the DSA movement now. Co-founder panic and pleaded the fifth in a closed-door House deposition after accusations that Act Blue let foreign donations flood, and I do mean flood, the Democrat campaigns with zero safeguards. Oh, I'm sure you're just shocked. Not. That's sarcasm. They were asking questions on the House Intel committees. Jim Jordan said, your board set up 38 million contributions in 2024, showed signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much? How much? Act Blue. They used the old Fifth Amendment, them and Fauci. They did the entire thing that Fauci did. Did you weaken fraud standards to help the Democrat Party? I plead the fifth. These people need to be shut the hell down. Okay?
Your board chairman said Act Blue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that had the signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much fraud?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question.
Shut your mouth. Shut up. They really need to hush the mask. They really thought that none of this kind of stuff would catch up to them, though. They really did. Americans are waking up and taking a stand. It's the truth. We are. Not they, we. We as true Americans are waking up. Just like this Freedom Friday right there on my hat. Freedom. Every day we have freedom, though. Every day. A lot of Americans, Andy Gibson being one of them who's running for governor in the state of Mississippi, for the 2027 election, he's doing the same thing, taking up for it, pushing back against Sharia law. But a lot of people are waking up. Pastor Lorenzo in a city council meeting unloading on this. And he lives there. And in council meetings that are open to the public, you can do what he did. And he's being serious, you guys. Y'all need to wake up, really. Really, really, really wake up. I know others will tell you that Sharia law is whatever. And yeah, you got the right to worship whatever you want to, all that kind of stuff. I get it. But I have the right to speak my mind on it too, just like you have the right to speak your mind on what I believe in, the Lord Jesus Christ, the Bible, and I'm a Christian. You don't have to like that. That's why we are a free country. But I don't have to like what this takeover is doing. And it is a takeover. It is, in fact, a real takeover. And a planned takeover for 20 plus years. Probably longer. We'll go with that.
This nation. We are not a nation of Muslims. We are a nation of Christians. We are one nation under God, indivisible, the God of the Bible, the God of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the God in whom we serve. I want you to prove to me we're not up under Sharia law. Will you denounce, Councilman O'Reilly, will you denounce Sharia law? Will you denounce Sharia law? Will you I know you won't. Will you denounce Sharia law? Abraham, you went to Hillsdale. Will you renounce Sharia law? Will you renounce Sharia law? America, we have lost this city. This is a city that is no longer up under American laws. We are up under Sharia law, and we will not have it anymore. Enough is enough.
Yeah, good for him. He lives there. He lives there. Dearborn, Michigan. He vocalizes his fears that the Muslim population in Michigan are working to bring their communities more in line with their religious worldview. That's true. Here's the deal, and this is my opinion. I get to say my opinion right here, right now. Sharia law is completely incapable and not compatible either with the Constitution of the United States of America. Okay? And Dearborn, Michigan, right now has become the battlefield, the battleground. And the Christians are turning up the volume. I would too. I would too. And more people need to speak out against this. Okay? The first way you do that is stop voting for these fools, the progressives, the Democrats, the DSAs, the modern progressive leftists. The American system was built on the idea that the same rules bind the government and citizens alike. That is true. It was not built, though, to host multiple overlapping systems of obligation inside of the same borders, if that makes sense. That's just the truth now. That's not anything except for the truth. David Hall texted and said Christianity and Islam are diametrically opposed for one simple reason. Christianity philosophy is one of the invitation, which is true. And the Islamics believe that philosophy is one of imposition, opposition, imposition. That's true. Tolerating parallel authority doesn't expand freedom. It fragments the single framework that makes freedom possible for everyone. But this is what it is, you know. It's what it is. And the terrorist organizations that have embedded themselves into this country are also running down the street screaming Allah Akbar. We have been watching hundreds and hundreds of thousands of clips over the last 20 years of terrorists telling Allah Akbar as they carry out violent attacks and killings and worse. Dearborn has been taken over by a lot of this as well. They just wear suits to the city council meetings. Okay? They just wear suits to the city council meetings. Insanity, right? It's Friday, y'all. Freedom Friday. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the tavern. The tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the safari park and petting zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the wedding chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
We all make promises, big and small. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I do solemnly swear
to help you when you're in need,
to be considerate and caring, to be your loving, faithful friend,
partner,
child,
parent,
neighbor.
One of our most important commitments is to support our nation's veterans. Learn how you can help a veteran going through a difficult time by visiting maketheconnection.net.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
And it's still Freedom Friday, August 21st, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. Thank you for joining the Unleashed, Uninhibited, Unapologetic Friday Morning Freedom Friday show. All right. My text line, y'all, is 601-918-8409, 601-918-8409, brought to you by Cypress Point MS, that's cypresspointms.com, and at Cypress Point MS on Facebook, and at Daryl Arnold MS on Facebook. So, earlier today, we had brought up the cocaine surfer out of Honolulu, Barack Hussein Barry Obama. He's trying to make his rounds again. Man, please. Please, please, please. You had your shot, like, for decades, and you ruined things. Okay, you had your shot. Look at our freaking health system from the, quote, Obamacare debacle. Complete debacle. But hey, people went for it. People believed in it. People got lied to, and they still are getting lied to. They are still getting lied to. Have you been screaming something from the rooftop for about 6 years or so? I have been screaming a lot of things from the rooftops for about 6 years or so. One of them being the Electronic Registration Information Center. We've been screaming about that forever, okay? And it's just now making it over to semi-mainstream media. So weird. So weird. Catch up, people. What's going on with Eric? They call it Eric, like the name Eric, E-R-I-C. They call it Eric. There's an overview about it. But really what it talks about is the Electronic Registration Information Center is what they call themselves. But in real talk, it's spelled CHEAT. I'll let y'all figure that one again. I'll say it slower for the people in the back. CHEAT. That's the real name for this. It just is.
Of exactly where all these illegals are getting put on the voter rolls, and it's going to be made public very, very soon. And I'll tell you right now where it is. And it's an organization called the Electronic Registration Information Center. It's led by a guy named David Becker, who was involved in a scandal while he was a U.S. attorney. And he essentially contacted the city of Boston while he worked for the DOJ, and the DOJ sued Boston over voting rights, claiming that he would help them get out of it. He then worked for PFAW, the People for the American Way, a far-left organization. Then he went on to work for Pew. And with George Soros' money, he created an organization called the Electronic Registration Information Center, which is known as ERIC. And then ERIC contracts with the states to get your DMV records, all that sensitive data that nobody else can get, that's protected under the Driver's Privacy Protection Act. That's where they're finding out the ineligible voters. That's where they're finding out who in the state isn't registered to vote. And their membership agreement prohibits you from disclosing to them who is or is not a citizen. So you send all the information to people that live there. Don't tell them if they're citizens or not. And they pump those names onto the voter rolls, and then they circulate it back. And then they give it to the other organization David Becker found, which is the Center for Election Innovation and Research, which is the recipient of all those Zucker bucks from back in 2020.
Yeah. We've been screaming about this for a long time. Some people have. For real. David Becker of, quote, Eric Zuckerberg, and they were called Zucker Bucks, recipient of 4 million plus in 2020 alone. In 2020 alone. Here's another fun fact for you. Harmeet Dillon has been has the task of trying to get the voter rolls handled in states. Most of the 35 states, though, are now refusing to hand her their voter rolls, especially if it's a blue state. Just unbelievable. Unreal. So Eric is basically the shadow government on the voting deal. That, in plain English. Ask more questions, people. Get involved with local elections. Hell, run for office. Do it. Do it. A citizen-led campaign over in Florida managed to get Florida State unsubscribed from Eric. You can do it too. So anybody in Mississippi listening to, you can do it too. Contact your election boards and ask everyone up the chain all the way to the governor, Governor Reeves. You may have already done it, but find out. But find out. And Eric used servers in China, of course, China. Did not clean up the voter rolls and committed fraud. That's what they do. That's what they do. Arizona, a quote, swing state, is in the ERIC program still. Right now. Because they're fighting so hard to maintain this corruption. They really are. Throwing money at it. Millions and millions to hold on to that shadow government. Shadow government. It is fraud, ladies and gentlemen, against you and me and everybody that's an American citizen. Anyway, these people are corrupt on all these boards. Not all of them, of course, but it only takes a couple of corrupt people to ruin things, y'all. Speaking of corrupt people, inside Hakeem Jeffries' district, inside of his own district, he talks a big game, but you can get axed, X'd, killed any time of the day. Your throat can get split while you're walking down the street on your phone. You can't walk 3 steps without seeing condoms and trash and whatever else. So when they did this little piece right here that I'm going to play the clip for, when asked about Hakeem Jeffries, the answer was he not for the people. He ain't for the people. That's one thing that he's not. Crazy, right? He talks such a big game, big words. Wonder if he understands some of those words. I've always wondered that because he probably does not. But, you know. Anyway, Johnny on the streets, excuse me, from the Jesse Show, Johnny Boy on the streets talking to people in Jeffrey's district. And, you know, he thinks that he knows it all, and he thinks that his constituents actually like him. But for some reason, he kept getting voted in.
Is getting out of hand. Stabbings and shootings every other night. Robbing, they killing people.
People dying, little kids just got ran over.
You got people that fight over parking.
People pull out guns for parking?
You have road rage.
What is the most dangerous thing to have happened in this neighborhood?
I would have to say murder, right? You can get killed any day, any time of the day.
You could walk and they slit your throat just for walking around with a phone. I even lost my husband. Somebody killed him.
Is East New York a safe place?
Not safe. I'm gonna be real, like, I'm scared.
It's dangerous. After a certain time, I don't even come outside. You have to have a good body built mindset to live here.
There's been 700 assaults in 8 months.
It's higher, and it's gonna get higher.
This is just one area of Penn Track where at night, the traffic here is more insane than Midtown Manhattan, and prostitution is running wild.
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, all of them. I just don't understand why anybody votes for them. I really have never understood that, but maybe it goes back to the conversation we were talking about earlier about the election voter rolls. I don't know. What is the greatest thing that you might think that Hakeem Jeffries has done? I can't think of anything. Really, I really can't. Democrats like Hakeem and are pushing this country towards civil war too. This is a message. If people keep voting for these quasi-Marxist, it's going to get completely worse and worse year after year, month after month, day after day. Yes. Thanks for the text, Mr. Magoo. We'll leave it at that. Text from Jeremy this morning. Good morning, sir. They see it. They acknowledge it. They know what could help change, and they still vote for the same people, though. Why? Why? Just doesn't make sense to me. It never has. Unless It's not free and fair election going on unless they're letting all the illegal aliens vote, unless they're paying people to vote. There's so many different ways to get this to happen. Okay? Really, it is. So much. And anyway, he doesn't care about his district. Come on, y'all. He's wanting that camera time. Jeffries and AOC. They're all too busy with Trump derangement syndrome to give a damn about their actual constituents. You know that. I know that. It's a crying shame, though. It really is. A crying shame. The biggest problem for Democrats like him, the Marxists, the ones that get a little TV time, they get too big for their britches, as we say down south, and forget about their constituents. Now, this does happen on both sides. It does. That was a text, but yes, you're right. That happens with a lot of politicians, no matter what side you're on. No matter what side you're on. Secret war on cash, y'all. They're trying to get rid of cash. They've been trying. They're going to continue to try. There's all this Bitcoin stuff. There's all these ways to invest. I get it. I do. But I like to have something hard right there, bam, that I know is never going away, no matter what they do, and that's gold. GOLD. You should get a little free information on that at SwissAmerica.com/unleashed, SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. Let me make this crystal clear. This is not about sales. This is for a report to read. No obligation or sales calls. This is only for information purposes, education. But yeah, Hakeem Jeffries, we're moving on from that fool. But a real ISIS plot to bomb the New York State Capitol. This is another thing that's happened in the last 48 hours. The FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force stopped her, and yes, it's a her, HER, before she could act. The radical Islamic terrorism on American soil. They still want to kill us. Okay? This is all real, people. This doesn't just happen in the big cities either, so it's time to really understand that as well.
The men and women of the FBI and our law enforcement partners who identified, investigated, and ultimately stopped this defendant before she could act on her plot to bring terror to the Capital Region and the United States. I am grateful for their dedication, and the people of the Capital Region and across the nation share in that gratitude. Before I turn it over to Special Agent in Charge FBI Craig Tremaroli, who will discuss the investigation in further detail, I want the American people to know this. Today's announcement will have a chilling effect on anyone in this country who is being radicalized or considering acts of violence, and on our enemies whose governments support death to America. We are vigilant, we are prepared, and just as we stop this defendant, we will continue to disrupt plots and protect the American people.
Amen, brother. Amen. Good work. Good work. The FBI, when they get this kind of information, they pick it up. and they move on it. And that's what has to happen. It's sounds a lot like treason to me, but they're here, they're everywhere, and they're terrorists. It's my opinion. Plus, we all saw the freaking border wide open for years with Biden in office. It's common sense where they're coming from, where they came from. These people hate America. They're here by the thousands. These psychopaths, that's what they are. The enemy within. It was a movie years ago, and how true is it now? How true is it now? They will continue with their obsession. They will continue. They were born and raised with the obsession of hating America. They just will. Crazy, isn't it? There's a video out there of this lady, this woman, buying her bomb supplies while dressed up in a burqa with just her eyes showing. So you can't really even identify her buying the things. I mean, they did, but there are times when you can't. It's like wearing a mask. Take your damn mask off if you go to the bank or something. I mean, why wouldn't you? Just stupid. What in the hell's the New York mayor going to do about it? Nothing. Nothing. Zoran the moron's not going to do anything. Let's see what somebody said here. I'm not going to say their name because they may be kind of going against me. We'll see here. So we're at war with the Islamic culture overseas and also importing them into our country so we can be at war with them here too. No, we're not. These are terrorists who came here illegally, breaking the law or trying to bomb somebody or being in a sleeper cell. So shut your mouth, Mr. Freed. Shut up. Okay. And Governor Kathy Hochul over in New York, she's always failed. She just says she's a failing governor. She gets scared to insult her jihadist buddies. Okay, that's what happens. That's what happens. She'll be saying, you arrested a poor terrorist. We're waiting to see when Kathy tries to pardon her. I'm sure she will. Sure she will. It's always part of a large agenda, larger. And if the useful idiots on the progressive left win in the next election, you will see just how demonic these people really can be. And if Texas turns blue, it is over for the country. Understand that. I say it all the time. I don't think a lot of you guys take me serious. Guess what? Without Texas, we don't win an election, not a federal election, not a presidency. There's not a pathway. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying this to impress you. I want to impress upon you, though, how important it is to get your butt registered and go vote every time, locally, whatever. It's got to happen, y'all. I mean, big time numbers, or we're going to turn into a socialist / communist country. And I'll be darned if I'm going down with that ideology. I'm just not down with it now. Never will be down with it. My name is Daryl Arnold. We'll be right back.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. As certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769-572-7597.
You wanted to see me? Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for. Right. But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all. Thanks. You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you. You're serious? Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down. I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Power 104.3 FM.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of The Pirate.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Freedom Friday, August 21st, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. Welcome back to the last segment of the show, coming up on the top of the hour, early in the morning. If you're not up by now, you're definitely late for work. Okay? Or maybe you don't have to work today, and good for you. All right, so speaking of today, it is August 21st. Big things going on at CypressPointMS.com or at CypressPointMS on Facebook, at Cameron's Garage, Cameron's_garage on Instagram. But really, there's a lot going on. I mean, a whole lot. You need to be there this weekend because it is a huge weekend. Dirt Deacons, Cameron's Garage tonight. Awesome. Bubba Wingfield in the tavern. Awesome. On the live music end. Weekend specials that are awesome in the Steakhouse Tavern. Sports bar specials in Cameron's Garage. Just all kind of stuff going on. Dirt Deacons, like I said. Big show tonight, August 21st. Tomorrow night, 22nd of August. You're all personally invited to my birthday party with one of my favorites. They're bringing the tour bus coming in from Baton Rouge. That would be Thomas Kane. The band's amazing. Check out Thomas Kane on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all the rest of them if you want to check his music out, Spotify and all that good stuff as well. But He'll be there tomorrow night, August 22nd, and I will be old. Okay. I will be old tomorrow night, but I will be there. I may be old, but I'll be there, right there. And I want you right there with me. I want you right there with me. Because that's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be doing. So this means equality? Question mark. LOL. I don't know. Holy smokes. You never know. California lawmakers just said they want to use taxpayer dollars to fund enclosures like little houses, mini huts, whatever, for the homeless to be able to use to have sex or masturbate in private. You can't make any of this up. What is wrong with these people? Okay. Lawless in LA. You can't make it up, y'all. Good Lord, have mercy. I mean, we never know what we're going to be talking about when it comes to Cali Cal. So that's equality. I don't know. I couldn't leave without talking about this.
Consider a pilot program for free hygienic sexual relief clinics, primarily serving the homeless and unhoused. This means equality. It means private sexual relief through masturbation or where appropriate and consensual with a partner, all funded by public tax dollars and managed with professional oversight. It's about allowing the homeless to have the same comforts and privacy that we have today.
Free breast implants, teeth, and love shacks. And Karen Bass is building an entire mini city to go with it. It's a village of tiny homes for the homeless. 84 huts are already up, open for business, hundreds more under construction. Move in, you get AC, 3 meals a day, and security. It's like my dorm room freshman year. But every time a junkie gets free goodies or a John hires a hooker, a taxpayer moves out. They go to Florida, they go to Texas, or they go to the burbs. Adios, America.
Unreal. Unreal. You cannot make this up, y'all. Does anything actually surprise you anymore, though, especially about California? No. No. Maybe it would help, though, if they would just get off the drugs. Maybe. I mean, I would think. Of course, though, the Democrats are breeding future voters. Of course they are. They probably already have all of these homeless people who don't actually have a legal address moving in these places so they can be able to vote, because then they'll have an address. Right? Just when you think California can't stoop any freaking lower. Karen Bass says, quote, "Hold my beer." Yeah. It's a text message. And how right are you today, Stacy? How right are you today? I mean, seriously. It's the Democrat voter block. They pay them $5 to vote Democrat via mail, wash, rinse, and repeat. Yeah. Yep. This is tied to taxes. But I wonder if it's tied to any federal taxes. God, I hope not. I'm sure it's not. But it is tied to the state of California, okay? Marty said, hey, I had to listen to you say that because you said it twice. Gross. The world and its occupants right now on the West Coast are insane. For the most part, you're right. Look at Seattle, what they did to that city. Look at Portland, Oregon, what they did to that city. Los Angeles, San Francisco, all of them. Okay? Just about all of them. So they get to stay up all night drinking, smoking, and think up the most bizarre type things that they can possibly spend taxpayer money on. Is that what the Karen Bass crew does? I mean, maybe. Hell, I don't know. I do know this, though. My name is Daryl Arnold. This is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. You can check out all episodes at DarrellArnold.us, DARRELL, DarrellArnold.us, and then choose your player. Also, stay up to date on the news on that website, or you can check out my Facebook at Daryl Arnold MS, or Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold on Facebook as well. Birthday weekend. I hope y'all's weekend's going to be hopefully fantastic, and I hope mine will be hopefully fantastic as I become old tomorrow. And I'll be back on Monday morning, you guys. So love you much. I'll see you at Cypress Point. Let's celebrate together. My name is Daryl Arnold. See you.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic, America First Talk at its best, where we party the right way. See you next time, or else.